Yeah. Mike, we're not answering that question every day. We've been through this for a month.
Totally respect that. I think just with the circumstances changing over the last, last couple days with the playoffs, that's why I asked.
How about if I let you know if we're going to make a change?
That sounds good to me. Is it partly due to competitive reasons that you don't want to let the Bills know?
Like, any questions on Buffalo, Mike?
Good, thanks, Bill.
That pause is so excruciating to me. Maybe it's just the talk show host in me, but those 4.5 seconds where there is no sound, there's just that dead air, it makes me itch in places that I cannot reach to scratch. And I'm just picturing Damien, Woody, and Louis Riddick. Lou, I'll start with you. You played for the man. So when you are watching that exchange, what thoughts go through your mind?
Look, that's Bill, man. Bill's never going to give you anything. He's never going to give you exactly what you want. Are you kidding me, man? You talk about awkward. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Charles Barkley and Kevin Durant the other night when they had their exchange on TV too. Look, he's just not going to give you. He's not going to give you what you want. He's just not. And quite honestly, look, as far as, are they going to play Cam? Are they going to give Jarrett Stidham a look? I think at this point, look, Bill understands what this season is. He understands the challenges that this team has faced, starting with all the opt-outs at the beginning of the year. And when you really look at it from a football standpoint, is he really going to be able to find out enough and make a sweeping decision, or rather a broad-based decision about Jarrett Stidham off of one game if he starts him? If he plays good, does that mean I found my quarterback? If he plays bad, does that mean he's sick? I think with him, it's just, I think he's going to try and start Cam. I really do. I'm not going to speak for him. I think because he'll go off the beaten path and do whatever he wants. But I think right now, Bill's just trying to get through this season, be competitive, get to the offseason, and get to work on this football team that he knows he has to do a lot of work on. And he's not going to give you anything as far as what he's thinking, whether or not they're 14, 15-0, or they're struggling like they are now. He's giving you nothing.
That's fair, but D. Wood, at the same time, if it isn't obvious to at least try Jarrett Stidham right now, what does that tell us?
Tells you what Bill thinks about Jarrett Stidham. I mean, think about what the Patriots are this season and the struggles they've had offensively, even at the quarterback position with Cam Newton. The fact that Bill hasn't even went to Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham was with the Patriots longer than Cam Newton. They had a quarterback competition. Cam Newton won. They've struggled on offense. Bill hasn't once really turned it over to Jarrett Stidham. So, to me, all of this leads to the thinking of Bill as it relates to Jarrett Stidham, and I don't think Jarrett Stidham is considered to be a guy that's the long-term solution at the quarterback position by any means.
It doesn't feel that way. So there's that piece of this, and then Dominique, it feels like there's another piece to this. Does it feel like we may be seeing the last of Cam Newton here, who has been a great player at times in this league? Do we feel like we're seeing the end?
Yeah, I mean, he signed a one-year deal with them. They're not committed going forward, and he hasn't played well, frankly. Like, I was someone who was super high on Cam coming in, and he made me seem smart in the first 3 weeks, but he's an older player who has a lot of injuries, and it seems like every time he's throwing the ball, it feels like it's so much labor just to get any pass down the field. So I'm not sure that we're going to see, well, I know we're not going to see the MVP level Cam again, and I'd be surprised, frankly, as much as it seems like he means to their organization, I'd be surprised if they go into next season with only Cam back there. Maybe they bring him back, but I suspect they bring someone else back, and it's not going to be Jarrett Stidham or Hoyer, because as Damien said, if Bill had any confidence or any faith in them throughout the course of the season when Cam was struggling, they would have given one of them a shot. It doesn't seem like he believes that either of those guys are an upgrade for Cam Newton.
And so, Shefty, pick it up from there. It feels like it's going to be a time of great change in New England. This year maybe will feel like the transition from what it had been for all those years to whatever it becomes next. What is your sense of where the quarterback situation goes?
I think they don't know right now. And I think that they have discovered what it's like to have lived in Buffalo or New York with the Jets or Miami when they didn't have an obvious quarterback solution. They have basically turned to the rest of the AFC East at this point in time. Cam Newton has been okay this year, but it doesn't look like he's the answer for this team. They don't look like they believe in Jarrett Stidham. Brian Hoyer is what he is. He's a veteran, a trusted veteran backup. And so they are back to where they were all last offseason. When Tom Brady left, they thought Jarrett Stidham was the guy. Cam Newton came along. They signed him to a low minimum contract that was heavy in incentives. And so now they're back to figuring out which is the right solution going forward. There are a lot of quarterbacks that could be traded this offseason, a lot of quarterbacks that could be drafted in the first round. New England needs to address that position, and I think it knows it.
Oh, Dominique had an idea for that one. We will get to that as the show goes. Dominique had an idea for who the quarterback for the Patriots could be next year. It is an intriguing one, and it is on the way as we continue. Very busy this morning on this Christmas Eve edition of Get Up. Coming up, stiff test for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against the Titans this week. I will tell you the one thing they can do that will prove they are the class of the NFC. And then, harmless fun or disrespectful? We've got some serious disagreement on whether Juju's pregame dance is a big problem in Pittsburgh. That and more on the way. It's Get Up on ESPN.